Okay, good morning all, and thanks for all joining. My name is Ahmad Jassat from the South African Oracle User Group. Um, Firstly, can I ask everyone to go on mute, please? Guys, thank you for joining. My name is Ahmad Jassat from the South African Oracle User Group. Um, we are sitting in a difficult situation in South Africa, but nevertheless, we as the South African user group would like to use this opportunity to train and develop and grow our Oracle skills in the country. And therefore, today we have invited one of the Oracle ACE members, which is Riaz Ahmad Ansari, and he's going to speak through to us on Oracle Data Guard, and he's going to give us a training session, a 45-minute training session. So I would like you to all, enjoy the session. Join us on a monthly basis where we invite different speakers to present to the Oracle user group. Our main focus now is to drive the user group to be more of a transferring of knowledge sessions more than sales sessions. And of course, is to build the Oracle brand. As you know, we are Oracle professionals and would like people to share their experiences in Oracle so that that could make their work easier. So now I hand you over to Riaz Ahmad Ansari, who is part of the Oracle ACE program. Riaz has his own blog and YouTube channel and has been presenting at a lot of sessions. So over through to you, Riaz, and you can now present everything. I will make sure that everyone is on mute and handle the administration side of it. People, if you have any questions, please keep it to the last 15 minutes. But now over to you, Riaz.
Uh, Morning. Thanks for joining this session, and thank you, South Africa Oracle User Group, for inviting me to give this session. So today I will speak about data guard. So I will little speak about the configuration and the information regarding data guard, and after that I will show you some practical which in your day-to-day activity.
Riaz, sorry, your mic is a bit soft. If you can just put it closer to your, yeah, much better.
Let me share the screen. My PPT is visible. My screen is visible.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thanks. So this is a little introduction about myself. I'm an associate database consultant, and right now I'm working in Bahrain. I have YouTube channel Oracle Ride and Blogger, and these are my guys. I'm helping. So today I will tell you about the Oracle Data Guard. First thing is that what is actually the Data Guard? So from the figure, you can understand better why we require data guard. As we know that we have a production database, and production database is very critical So that's why we created another copy of production database that is called as standby database. So as you can see in the figure, we have storage A. On that we have primary database, and storage B we have standby database. But how these two database will sync together? So the thing, this will happen with the help of redo entries. So as we know that redo entries will generated whenever we do any activity on the production database, whether it is a DDL or DML. So these transaction will transfer to the standby database in the form of redo, and that redo entries will apply on the standby database, and then this standby you can say is a synchronous copy of your production database. So why we required this standby? Suppose if your production database fail, you can easily up your standby and you can transfer the connection of client, and client can work on that, and later DBA can recover the previous primary database, and then he can make as a standby, or he can make another as a production database which was earlier before the failure. So this is basically the concept of data guard. Latest picture of 19C database configuration. So in that you can see that primary database transaction is going on, redo buffer is storing the redo entries, and from that LGWR will transfer redo entries to network sync process that transfer the redo entries to the standby side, where RFS process will receive and it will apply, it will store on the standby redo log, and then MRP or LSP process will apply the transaction on the standby database. So this is the way internal architecture work, where many processes involved for LGWR, ARCN, and NSSN or TTN, and RFSN, and MRP or LSP process. So this is internal mechanism. By that you're seeing a standby database will sync with your production database. So as we know that standby basically introduced in Oracle database version 7.3, but from version 9.9 its name changed from standby to data guard. So now we called as data guard. So basically data guard is a data production and available solution for your Oracle database. Okay, and the basic function of data guard is synchronized copy of database, and in case primary database is inaccessible to end user, you can up your standby, and cases are hardware error, natural disaster, and so on. And the one important thing is that if you are configuring a data guard, you should configure data guard on different city. Geographically, you need to configure on different cities. Same city, it is not a correct approach. And data guard provide data protection, high availability, and disaster recovery. And by that data guard, as I said, user connection can automatically transfer if you configure failover and there was no outage in the primary. And also it data guard will help to generate the report, to generate to do the testing, and to take the backup from standby, and you can means ease the production with this type of activity. And also if suppose any corruption happen in the block, you can recover from standby database to the production. So we know that there are two main component. One is primary and another one is standby database. And from 12C onwards, we have 31 locations, and we can configure up to 1 to 30 data guard or standby. And this is a little information about the data guard. Now today I will show you one practical, or maybe if I get a chance, I will show you many practicals. So today I will show you about how to test. Suppose a developer want to do some test on your production, but you can't do that. So you will open your standby and you can make available, and then developer will do the testing, and then you convert as a standby. So there is a process for that. So we convert basically in the snapshot standby database. So the first command is you need to check what is actually the processes or sequence you have. So you
Sorry,
see,
sorry,
yeah,
Riaz, we're seeing the PowerPoint. We're not seeing, I mean, are you on the server or anything?
yeah, I'm on the server. Oh,
We're only seeing the PowerPoint presentation. We're not seeing the server. If you can just switch to your server.
just a second.
While we wait for Riaz to get his to switch to his server, if anyone has any suggestions on future sessions, please do let me know. I have a pool of speakers that would like to speak at the user group, and we like to slot them in different months. So if any of the Oracle community have any suggestions or would like any specific talks, please do let me know. Okay, there we go. We're back on Riaz. Riaz, we can see your screen.
Okay.
If you can
So
start it.
this is the query where is a dynamic performance view, v dollar manage underscore standby. So in this view, you can check about the sequence, about the process, about the status and everything. So here see that we have RFS process, we have MRP process. So it means my database is sync with the production and redo is applying. Okay. Now, first thing I will disconnect the redo from the production. So this is the command. Oh, just a second. Okay, so alter database recover manage standby database cancel. So it will disconnect the redo. So now check again this query and you will see the difference. What is that actually? So when I hit that, so see that MRP process gone. It means redo is not applying, correct? Now, what is another step? Now check whether my database is physical or snapshot. So we have v dollar database. So my database is mount mode. My database role is physical and flashback is on. Okay. So there is a v dollar database. Every DBA know this. Okay. So first thing for converting physical standby to snapshot, we need to check these two location, DB recovery file dest and DB recovery file dest size. So both are configured. If it is not configured, you just need to configure these two. And after that, you can perform the activity. And also when you convert your physical standby to snapshot, so Oracle will create restore point. So now see that in this query v dollar restore point view, there is no rows, so it means restore point is not created. Now I will fire the one command which will convert physical standby to snapshot. So alter database convert to snapshot standby. So when I did this command and after that again I will check this query. So it will create a restore point. See that restore is created. So basically why we are doing that, we are protecting the database. If anything goes wrong, I will restore my database up to this restore point. So that's why I always do this thing. And now I will shut down the database and I will start the database and I will perform some activity. Okay, one by one. Now it's shut down. Now I will start my database because standby database should be open mode. Then you can, or developer can do any activity, correct? So it is mounted. Okay, perfect. Now a developer is creating a table. So he created the table and now I will check any rows is there. Oh, there is a typo mistake. So there is no row. Now what I will do, I will shut. I have created the table. Okay, I will not go into more activity. I will just show you how your snapshot will work and how you will convert back and what will happen whatever developer did that. Okay, so I'm shutting my database, and after that I will start up with mount mode. And then I will convert back to physical standby, and then I will check that whether this table is there or not. So this is done. Now I will start in mount mode. Now I will fire this command. So alter database convert to physical standby. So now your database is back to physical standby. So you can check another same query $$ database. So see, my database is physical standby now. Now check whether restore point is available or gone. Restore point gone because you revert back to physical standby, correct? So this is the way you do that. Now I want to check what is my table. So I will again shut down the database and I will start in open mode and then I will run the query and we will see whether the table is there or not. Now I will fire the query, select star from T1. Earlier it was showing no rows, right? So see that table gone. So whatever developer did in snapshot mode, that activity will gone and your database will be clean as it was earlier with the production. So this is the way you can open your database and you can give the database to the developer. They can perform the test. And after that, you can convert back to physical standby and your database will be clean. Whatever the transaction happen, it will flush automatically, and you can enable the redo also after this. Make sure that you will not miss the command of redo apply. So again, I will shut down the database. I will start the database in mount mode, and then I will apply the redo services. Okay. So now I will go in mount because redo apply will in mount mode. Now I will check again the query. So see that RFS is there, ARCH is there, but no MRP is there, right? Because we didn't enable the redo apply. Okay, so there is a command. If you are using standby redo log file with control, so then you will fire this command alter database recover manage standby database using current log file. So this will give exact symmetrical standby. Whatever is going on production, it will fast reach to standby and it will apply. So this is the good practice. Okay, but you should have standby redo log and all. Now see that one RFS MRP is enabled and it is applying log. Okay, now just I will make one log switch on the production and then see the difference. Okay, I will not change the screen because it will make time for this. I just fire on production alter system switch log file, and I will get back to my standby and I will run this query again. So see that 49 sequence is coming and it is applying, correct? So this is the one practical which DBA do actually mostly in the company to open the standby and developer team test and then. So this is a snapshot standby database concept which comes I think 11G and earlier it was only physical and logical, and this snapshot is for reporting for testing purpose of the environment as symmetrical to production database. So this is the one practical. I hope you get that. Okay, another practical is you can generate the report. Okay, so for generating the report, suppose I want to generate active session history report. So what I will do first, I will cancel the redo. Okay, and then I will check again this view whether MRP is stopped or not. So my MRP is stopped. Now what I will do, I will shut down the database. And then I will start the database. If you are using active guard feature, so no need to you shut down and every time open. Your standby will be open mode and you can do whatever perform. But active data guard required license, so that's why it's costly. So people didn't take active data guard license for doing these type of testing and reporting purpose. So then we have an option of snapshot and all like this. And standby we can down, so that's why we are doing this practice, shutting down and starting and all like that. And we know that what are the file for running the active session history. There is the location RDBMS admin. There is a script ASH active session history report.sql. So when you run the script, it will ask you want to HTML report or text. I say HTML. And after that, it will ask for production or standby. Default is S, or standby, I will say S. Then it will ask about the time. So today is 16 July, so 07, then 16, then 2021, and then time 09, columns 10, 00. And after that, by default is 15-minute duration. So I will give 15-minute, and then it will ask about the report of this. So July HTML. So now it's generating the report. So this report is generated and written. So where you will find out? You will find out your home. So see that. So this report is generated ASH this July.html. So we can copy this to my desktop. /home / it's copied. Now go to desktop. So this is the report. Did you see my report?
Yes, we can see it. We can see it. Yes.
Okay. So let me increase the font. I don't think so. Okay. So this is the ASH report, because this is very powerful report, active session history, where you can find out the session or user who had done some activity in between these duration. Actually, this report is generated from dynamic performance view and history view, which already is in your database. And this is the graphical report as AWR. So this is the better report to find out any user activity. So right now nothing is there. So that's why no information is available. Only the configuration information is available. Correct? So this is the another use of standby database. I hope it's clear. Okay. Now, another thing we can how to monitor actually, because you should know about the database informations from which view you can find out and you can verify synchronization between primary and standby. Okay, so there is a view actually which you can check on the standby. So my sequence is 48 on the standby. So $archive _ log view, you can check that. And after that, you can check whether it is applied, which are applied or which are not applied. So you can use this query $archive _ log where applied is yes. So this is 48 is showing. And then you can check all the sequences which is available on your applied and database. So see that you will get this query. So $archived _ log where you have sequence column and applied column. So in that you can see that 48 till your archived is applied. So $archive underscore log is very good view to check the synchronization between the primary and standby. Clear?
Perfect. Yeah.
And if you want to check the status of your data guard configuration, so we have $data guard underscore stats view. So here you can see that we have transport lag, apply lag, and apply finish time. So transport lag is showing 0, 0. It means no delay because I'm using a real time apply by using current control file. Got it? So this view will tell you about the lagging, about the applying time, about the estimated startup time. So $data guard stats is very good view to check about the lags and all. Okay, and also you want to check what is your protection mode, because we know that we have three kind of protection mode. So maximum performance, maximum protection, maximum availability. So right now my standby database is in maximum performance mode, where data loss can be happen, but performance will not happen effect actually. So that is not good practice. We should use maximum availability for that. And we can use more protection if you want. You can use maximum protection, but in that your production will be on high red zone, because if anything happens in standby, your production will automatically shut down. So don't use that. So we can go either for maximum availability and for maximum performance. So from $, database, you can get what is your standby protection mode. Okay. Okay, so if suppose you want to create the standby control file, so basically, if suppose your standby control file is corrupted and you want to update your control file for that, so you have one command which actually you will perform on the production side, and I will not fire here. I will just show you the command. So this is the command: alter database create standby control file as in temp location. So this command you will fire on the production, and after that, when this file is created, you can copy that file to the standby, and then you can open the database and you can recover and restore with no redo apply with your standby if your standby control file is corrupted or if you lose anything. So this is the three step: create the copy the standby control file on the primary, and then transfer, and then restart the standby using a new standby control file. So you can use by this command, or you can connect to RMAN and you can backup current control file for standby format and then file name, and then you can transfer the things. And the another suppose on your production side your database sys user password change. Okay, so how you will change? So the better way to change the sys password without breaking the redo transport service. So what you will do, you will copy the primary database file to the standby after changing the password. Okay, so first step on the production, let me connect to production, otherwise it will not better things. Let me change the slide also. So this is my production server one. So here, first thing I will fire this command. I will defer the redo services, which transfer the redo. So I am stopping that. Okay. And after that, I will change the sys password. So I change the sys password. Now what I will do, I will go to the DBS location where my password file reside. CD $Oracle home / DBS. So here my password file is Aura pwd Aura tb. So this password file I will transfer by cp command, by scp command to the standby, and then you can connect to that the database, and after that you can enable the whatever you defer. So I will back to this command, I will enable, and then I will perform the alter system switch log file so to sync actually. This is the third thing. Without breaking the redo transport between the primary and standby, you can change the sys password and you can transfer the password file from primary to standby. Clear?
Yes, we with you.
Can I just make a comment though? It's Ian Bogart speaking. From 12.2, this is automatically synchronized and handled by the system so that you don't need to do this manual process.
Yes, correct. See, gradually version is upgrading and Oracle is giving facility to less work to the DBA. So this is just a kind of the database which is less than 12C, because mostly in companies 11G is running. In my company 11G is running. So for that I did that activity. Got it?
Cool.
Okay. And for 19C, we have so many features actually, and that is because this is my 19C database. If I show you how you can check that. This is my 19.30. Okay, so in 19C data guard, we have so many good features, which I jot down from here if I have. Yeah, so we can dynamically change the, just a second, I share the screen. Okay, now you can see that. So we have data guard fast failover target. We can use database parameter management in Oracle Data Guard Broker, and we can the important feature is restore point from primary to standby. Okay, so whatever restore point created on the primary database are transferred to the standby, so they are available even after a failover operation. So this is a good feature in 19C. And if you are doing flashback on your primary database, your standby database is also flashback. So this is also very important feature in 19C. And you have active data guard DML redirection. Means if you are using active data guard and you are performing DML, it will redirect in your standby, and it will clear flashback logs periodically for increased fast recovery area size. And there is a parameter data guard max long IO time, which will basically a communication help over network to manage redo transport and archiving. So this is very good parameters, data guard max IO time and data guard max long IO time to tune wait times for static for a specific data guard configuration. Okay, so these are some points which are in 19C. Okay. So that's it from my side. Thank you for attending these sessions. And if you have anything regarding data guard, you can check my blog where I have almost 7 to 8 19C data guard topics. Just let me show you so you can easily there. Did you see my screen? So I have first session on data guard introduction, then how to use net services, then what are the parameters, then destination attributes, then data guard protection mode, and then tips for data guard parameters. So these 7 sessions, and there is another deep dive session theory actually. So you can check and you can benefit it with these sessions.
Okay, thank you, man. I thank you very much for that excellent session. I just like to know is from the audience, is there any questions for Riaz?
Yes, please.
Okay, while we wait for questions, I just like to say that I also do Oracle EBS. I'm an Oracle EBS consultant as well. So, as you know, in the EBS world, everyone requests cloning all the time. Can you clone? Can you clone for us? Can you clone for us? So what I've done is, and I'm willing to share this, you guys can just email us, email me, where we have automated the whole cloning process using Oracle Data Guard. So all you have to do is on your development environment is set up, add additional disk space and create a new environment for Data Guard. So what we done is we had one client which requested, cloning every week, and it was becoming tiresome, for the DBAs. So what we done is we automated the whole Oracle EBS cloning using Oracle Data Guard. So that saved us from the manual intervention. What we went further to do is to create a daily clone. So, as the options changed, as 12C came out and everything got automated, we created a daily copy, a daily clone, which was fully automated using Oracle Data Guard. So to all the consultants out there, and whether you're working for a company or individually, Oracle Data Guard is an extremely useful tool, especially in our current situation in South Africa. I mean, I was just last year when we had all the power failures. Unfortunately, one of our clients' server room was vandalized and the UPS was stolen. And we used Data Guard there immediately, to move from their primary data center to their secondary data center. So yeah, I mean, it's an extremely useful tool. It's very easy and user friendly once you get to know the terminology and the syntax. Yeah, so if you are an EBS consultant and want to see how that is done, we can set up a session. or I can email you the presentation, and it's extremely simple. It's extremely simple to set up. Any questions for Riaz while we have him? We still have time.
Nothing much. I'm very much familiar with these concepts, and the way he deliberate the sessions is spellbound. Thanks, Ahmed.
No problem.
Thanks for the session.
Anytime. Thank you for attending. Also, thank you. I see no more questions. I do see one. There is one question that has come up. Okay, can you share your YouTube playlist? I think that is shared. Riaz, can you share your blog for us, please, man?
Okay, in message I will share.
Okay, so Riaz will put up his. Okay, there is a question there. If you can explain it. Actually, I also have a question. Maybe Ian can answer that one. But let's go to the question. There's two questions that came up. Anoj, if you want to take yourself off mute and ask the question, I get. I don't have a problem.
Yeah, what is the difference between the archive log, $V archive log table and $V archive log history table?
See, history table will give you the information which are past happened in your database, right? And V current dynamic view will give you the latest information. So that is the basic difference, because history keyword it all shows this information.
Okay, there's another question from Rakesh. Rakesh, if you can take yourself off mute and ask your question.
Yeah, I heard there's a word called EOR when we used to make it the primary to standby to primary. So will it happen once we will make it standby to primary, EOR will be activated or not, or it will be only activated in the primary only?
EUR, can you elaborate, please?
It's I think it's a end of redo. It's called, like once we switch over from primary to standby, there will be EOR generated that indicates the standby that now it is end of the redo. Now I am switching over from standby to primary myself. So standby will be created to primary. So my question was, once standby is become primary, so when we again start to make standby to again primary, then EOR will be generated or not?
That I need to check actually. So I will mail you later.
Sure, thanks.
Okay, then, guys, there's one thing that all DBAs need to take into consideration is licensing. Please do not go and set up something without making sure the license component is, you are licensed, number one, to use the product, and number two is you confirm with your Oracle counterparts or Oracle account manager that you are following well, in your license area. So I know on data guard, Ian, you can step in here, please. On data guard, there is the active, which is a licensable product, and then there is the standby mode. So Ian, do you want to share some things on that, if you can?
Sure, I'll just share one or two thoughts on that. So Data Guard is available as part of Enterprise Edition and is available for all customers to use, assuming that you have the correct licensing entitlements at an Enterprise Edition level. So let's just put that one aside. Active Data Guard is an option that you need to procure in addition to your Enterprise Edition licenses. If you want to make use of your standby database for reporting purposes, for offloading queries, because Active Data Guard allows the standby database to be in read-only mode while redo is being applied from primary. So that's the important distinction to make. Data Guard is available to all customers. If you have sufficient Enterprise Edition licenses, you can make use of that for DR purposes if you don't have DR or if you're using storage-based replication, in my opinion, DataGuard always trumps storage-based replication. It's more reliable. I've had a customer that has attempted to switch over and they didn't add additional capacity on their standby side to the SAN there or to the storage replication set, and they couldn't actually do the failover and bring the database up. They ended up needing to do a restore from the last good backup because it just messed things up completely. So DataGuard is a bit more reliable. You can use Enterprise Manager as well for monitoring and alerting to check whether or not you've got apply or transport lags. So that's the one thing. If you wish to get maximum use or offload reporting jobs, queries, your user base off your production system. If your production system is buckling under the pressure of too much workload, you can then make use of Active Data Guard, though that is an option that needs to be acquired in addition to Enterprise Edition.
But it requires a cost because Active Data Guard is very good option. That is the good sense of using the Data Guard. Otherwise, without Active Data Guard, is only the sense of failover and switch over. And if you are actually using, if you want to use actually Active Data Guard, so you, as you said, and also I said in the presentation, no need to disconnect and open. It always will be open mode and redo will apply in open mode. That's why logical standby is outdated from 11G because Active Data Guard comes in 11G. So that's why Oracle introduced this feature, and Oracle is actually whatever the new feature they added, they approach as a separate license to the customer. So every customer cannot afford it actually. So no doubt Active Data Guard is good option to use actual full-fledged feature of the Data Guard. Then that is the good sense of using Data Guard.
I see a question from Sue, but Sue, if you can put yourself, unmute yourself and ask the question.
Any licensing implications on a poor man's standby database on standard edition?
So if you can just explain what you mean on it, maybe Ian can jump in. Ian is always helping us.
Yeah, so Sue, feel free to jump into the conversation as well. And I like that it's a bit interactive. Obviously, as I mentioned, Data Guard is part of Enterprise Edition. So Standard Edition doesn't have, I beg your pardon, Standard Edition doesn't have Data Guard capabilities out of the box.
Yes, correct.
That said, what you can do is, and I just need to go and double check what the requirements are to do this. It's more impetus for the community to actually upgrade to 19C. You can do refreshable PDB copies. I think I'm getting the terminology wrong, but you can set up a schedule so that you do a PDB refresh from standard edition on one host to standard edition on another host. And that will give you some sort of semblance of having a standby database. Bearing in mind, you've got all of the restriction in terms of redo apply not happening automatically, etc., but that is something that you can do with 19C.
Thank you, yeah. We got a question here, Riaz. Dimitris, if you want to unmute yourself and ask it.
What is the prerequisite for the snapshot option? I told first we need to check DB recovery file size and destination. That should be enabled because you convert into snapshot, flashback FRA logs will be created. So that's why we required FRA, and that is prerequisite. And after that, you can just fire one command and it will convert into a snapshot.
So I think, Demetrius, if I can just jump in, I can just jump in on that snapshot option. Again, if you are licensed to use, if you have sufficient licenses on the Enterprise Edition side, you can, that is an advantage of using Data Guard for pre-production testing, quick sanity testing. You can convert your standby database to a snapshot standby, do all the changes, modifications, tests, checks, whatever the case may be. Once you are done, you then put that back into a physical standby mode, and your DR is once again intact and whole. So snapshot standby is something that definitely can be used, just bearing in mind that is typically meant for short-term usage. So depending on the activity on your system, it could be a day, 2 days that you would use it as a snapshot standby, but the idea is that you would revert it back to a physical standby at some point in time.
Thank you. Mpanga, your question, you want to ask it? What are
He's asking about FARSync instances.
Yeah.
So FARSync, and this is one of the advantages of using active data guard. If again, even being an employee of Oracle, it's not always the easiest thing to understand all of the licensing implications all the time. But FARSync is part of the active data guard solution, and if I use the example of, let's say in South Africa, right, we've got our primary region is located in Cape Town, and we've got a standby in Johannesburg. But we actually have a situation where we've got 2 data centers in Cape Town. So what you would do is, if the latency is up to Johannesburg is not conducive enough to do real-time apply with a reasonable amount of lag, you could set up a FARSync instance at your secondary site. A FARSync instance is exactly that. It's just an instance. There aren't any data files associated with that. It's an instance with a control file. You would then set up either max availability or max performance. Max availability or max performance to the FARSync instance between your Cape Town sites, and then the FARSync instance would be the bridge that ships the redo to Johannesburg. So that's just for the ultra paranoid customers who cannot afford to lose any sort of data. You would make use of a FARSync instance then to mitigate loss at your primary site, even though it's within the same region, and that would then relay all of the redo to your region that's situated geographically further away.
Can I have an additional question to your?
Okay, that's the last question, please. We're running out of time, and I know Riaz needs to go. Okay, shoot.
Okay. When you say about the FARSync for one of your database to get in sync within stimulated period of time, and if we have a couple of other databases inlined on the same server, will there be any impact on the other servers due to which you have an high I/O when you are doing a FARSync or something? Let's say you have 3 databases. Let's say you have 3 databases, standby databases, and you're doing a FARSync. Will there be any impact on the other databases which are already running on it? Is a question.
So I think that's probably a question that needs to be unpacked a little bit more. I don't just want to outrightly say, no, there won't be any impact. It'll work like a dream. But FARSync is designed so that the redo is actually buffered and received in memory. So it's supposed to be very lightweight and efficient. But I think it's something that just needs to be unpacked a little bit more once there's an understanding of your architecture before we can give you a final answer.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining. I really enjoyed the session. Thank you, Riaz, for sharing your skills with us and your time. Always thank you to Ian for assisting us with the questions and answers. We're very fortunate to have support from our local Oracle in our country. Riaz, thank you again for your time. To the rest of the audience, if you have any sessions you would like to see, please do let me know. I will shoot off to our Oracle ACE program and they will provide us with speakers. That's all from us, and hope to see you all next month. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
The recording will be available
folks.
On the Oracle User Group website. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Stay safe.
Have a great day. Thank you.